morning everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about do's and don'ts in our programming. So what we can do and what we cannot do in case of our programming language, that we look in this video. First one, what are the do's in R? Means what are the possibilities that we can do in R and what we can exactly what are the possibilities that we can work out in case of our programming language. So first one, so it's nothing but statistics for relatively advanced users. So as of you know, the R is designed with thousands of packages and it is well developed, well designed and well maintained by most of the users and statisticians. Why? Because you can perform the statistical techniques and methods and performing of tests is very easy by using the R programming language rather than doing it in a manual manner. So that's why most of the statisticians are concentrating on R programming language to take advantage of the pros in the R programming. And the second one, flexible code. So R has a liberal syntax and variables. It means whenever you need the variables, you can just call the variables and you can use that variables in the code. So if you are no longer using that variable, in the sense you can remove that variable. So that possibility is there. It's nothing but the liberal syntax. So liberal syntax is one of the mechanism which is accurate and performed well in case of our programming language rather than other programming languages. So that's why for example C, C++, which makes it very easy to code in. So in the sense variables also we can use in a proper manner by using the C and C++, and this also has the disadvantage in terms of how safe the code is. It means, so if you are using the liberal syntax, in the sense we cannot assure you that the program may be safe for longer run. And next one is vectorization, and this R is designed to make it is very easy to write functions which are applied point-wise to every element of a vector. It means, so as of in R, so it is well developed for user-defined functions. Means you can design your own functions and you can make changes and you can add it to the existing library. So in such cases, so R is designed to make and to write the functions as per the elements and as per the vectors point-wise, and this is extremely very useful in case of statistics. And R is very powerful. So if a command doesn't exist already, you can code it yourself. This is suppose. So if any of the function is not working, so if you want to add some more, in the sense you can add and you can use it for further. So that possibility is there in case of R programming language. And next one, so that is don'ts in R. Means what are the things that you are not allowed to do in case of our programming language. And this is statistics for non-statisticians. In the sense, so let's say expertise faculty will be there who are expertised or experienced in statistics and performing statistical methods and techniques. So they can perform and they can work and they can play with the techniques in case of our programming language. But when you come to the non-statisticians, it's very tough and they are not allowed to use the techniques and the mechanism that is there in our programming language, because if the result, if any result is there, so non-statisticians are not in a position to analyze that result. So that difficulty is there in case of R. So that for non-statisticians we don't advise the programming language. And second one, numerical methods. So you have different partial differential equations. So for partial differential equations, it is better to use the MATLAB rather than our programming language. And next one, analytical methods. Analytical method is this: if you want to integrate a function to another function, it is better to use Mathematica or MAPLAY rather than our programming language. Okay. And next one is precision graphics. So these precision graphics are mostly useful in psychology experiments. So in case of this psychology experiments also, it is better to go for MATLAB rather than our programming language. And next one is optimization. So optimization in the sense which will gives you the more result and maximize result that you are going to search for. So in such cases, our programming is not at all suggestible. It is better to avoid our programming language in case of optimization. And next one is it's in case of low level mechanism, high speed or critical code. So it is better to use C, C++, Java or maybe similar other programming languages, but our programming is not suggestible. So here you can see what are the don'ts that are there in case of our programming language. First, it is not suggestible for the non-statisticians, and in case of numerical methods, it is better to go for MATLAB rather than our programming language. And in case of analytical methods, you can go for Mathematica or MapPlay rather than our programming language. And in case of precision graphics, it is better to go for MATLAB, so rather than our programming language. And in case of optimization also, it is better to go for other techniques and other programming languages, because the R cannot assure you of maximized result. And next one is in case of low level or high speed and critical code, so it is better to avoid our programming language. So in such cases you can go for C, C++, Java or similar other programming languages. So these are the main do's and don'ts in case of our programming language. Okay, so these are the 6 type of atomic vectors in case of our programming language. So just I am listing out here. About these atomic vectors we will discuss in the next class. So, okay, so next video. So these are the 6 atomic vectors we have: integer, double, logical, character, complex and raw. So these are the 6 basic types of atomic vectors in case of our programming language. Okay, and next important thing that you have to remember in case of our programming language is comments. What do you mean by comments? So for example, let's say I am designing a code. So the code is about 500 pages. Okay, so in case of that 500 pages, I don't know which part of the code belongs to which function and which part of the code belongs to which criteria, which process it is following and all. So in such cases, it is difficult to analyze and it is difficult to manipulate the code, and if you and it is difficult to include or add the changes. So in such cases, what the developer do in a sense, in case of our programming language, simply they put a hash symbol. So by using that hash symbol, you can comment what the program is saying about. It means, let's say, let's say this program is belongs to designing part, and next part of the code is belongs to designing part. Next part of the code is belongs to about the specification. So like that, you can divide the program or code into subtypes, and you can label it with some comments by specifying hash symbol. What do you mean by hash symbol again? So it's nothing but what we call, okay, this is the hash symbol. Okay, so by using this, you can write what exactly the below code says about. Okay, so this is the way how we can represent the comments in case of our programming language. Okay, and so look at the description part about the comments in case of our programming language. Comments are generic English sentences mostly written in a program to explain what it does or what a piece of code is supposed to do. It means what exactly the below code is going to do, what it exactly replicates, what is the activity that is done by the program. So that in order to represent that one, we use the comments. So for comments we use the symbol hash. Okay, more specifically, information that programmer should be concerned with, and it has nothing to do with the logic of the code. It means when you represent the comments with the hash symbol, it doesn't belong to the program code, just it is for our identification purpose what exactly the program is doing. So that's why in order to simplify those procedures, developers has mentioned this one. And next one, they are completely ignored by the compilers. It means when you are running the code, so that comments are completely ignored by the compilers and are thus never reflected onto the input. It means in case of you, if you are giving any inputs to the system, in the sense it doesn't take the comments. So if you mention it with hash, okay. So these are the general reasons why we go for comments in case of our programming language. So what are those reasons? First one is in order to go for code readability and explanation of the code or metadata of the project. It means what it exactly doing. And next one, in order to prevent execution of any code and to include more resources to the program. See, these are the main purposes or reasons why we will go for our programming, that too in case of comments. Okay, so let's come to the next one, that is types of comments. So in these comments also there are different variations and different types are there. So here we have listed only three main types that we commonly use in our programs. The first one is single line comments. So these are supported by languages now. Okay, first one is single line comments, second one multi-line comments, and third one is documentation comments. So single line comments, so the name itself replicates that. So only if you are representing the comments in one sentence, it's nothing but single line comments. And next one is multi-line comments. So it also represents that if you are representing the comments in more than one line, it's nothing but multi-line comments. And next one, documentation comment. So generally if you are going for preparation of a draft or manual related to your program or the work that you had done, in such cases if you are using comments, that category is called as documentation comments. It means if you want to go for a fast lookup of any material or any process that is carried out, so in such cases we will go for documentation comments. Okay, so these are the main three types of comments that are there in case of our programming language. So what are the single line comments, multi-line comments, and documentation comments? Okay, next one, that is functions to convert the types of objects. So what are the various functions that we use in order to convert the objects? Okay, type of objects. So generally we use the type.convert function. So this is the function that we'll use in case of, so look here. So this is the function that we use in our language for computing the data type of a particular data object. It means whether it is numeric, whether it is integer, whether it is complex, whether it is character, or whether it is logical. So in order to indicate that type of data object, generally we use the type.convert function, and it can convert data object, and it can convert the data object to logical, integer, numeric, or factor. It means any object is there, so you can convert the type of that object to logical or factor or integer or numeric. It depends upon your need. Okay, what is the syntax that we have to follow in order to convert, in order to go for this conversion? In the sense, type.convert of the variable that you are using. Okay, type.convert of, so here I am taking the x. So x is a variable that I am taking in order to go for this conversion, and this is the function that I am using, type.convert. So type.convert of x. Okay, and if you go for the parameters, so here x is nothing but a vector matrix, or it may be an array. Okay, so let's see here. So in the previous few minutes back we had discussed about comments, right? So see here, hash symbol. So and by using this hash symbol we are representing what this code is belongs to, what this program is belongs to. So here I am R programming to illustrate, and hash type dot convert to vector of numbers. So here I am taking one vector and I want to convert that vector to numbers. So that I am taking the help of type dot convert. Okay, these all I am representing by using the comments. So in order to represent it as comments, I have to use the symbol hash. Okay, and next one. So here this is the example I am taking. So that's why I am using a comment, that too in single line comment. It's nothing but create an example vector. Okay. So what is the vector that I am taking here? X1. So what are the values or elements that I am storing into X1 in the sense 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So these are all the numerical values that I am taking in order to go for type dot convert. Okay. So that I am storing in the variable X1. Okay. And next criteria, what I have to do, I have to apply the type dot convert function. So that I am using another variable, that's nothing but x1 underscore convert. Okay, so less than hyphen type dot convert. Okay, so type dot convert of, for which variable we are applying type dot convert function? For x1. So that I am specifying here. Okay, so once you are giving this, so this will, all this values or result is stored in x1 underscore convert. Okay. So I want to know the class of this type dot convert or x1 variable. So for that I am applying the function class of x1 underscore convert. So by giving all these commands I will get the result on the screen. Okay. So let's see here the same things we have taken here. So I am taking the x1 vector and x2 vector, and I am I just want to know the class of x2, and again I am converting the x2 underscore convert by using the type dot convert, and I am specifying it with the class. So in this video just we are discussing about the theoretical part related to the each and every concept, but in the later videos we will go for a practical section, how all is going to be work. Okay, because it's not possible. First you will, if you go for the theory part, and in the next video we'll discuss about the practical things, so how it's going to work on the spot. We can go for execution also. Okay. So this is about the things. So in the next video we'll discuss about the IDEs.